Hey guys, I just got the baby down for a nap and I'm about to do a huge meal prep. So if you're looking for some family dinner ideas that you can meal prep and also freeze, this is the video for you. Let's jump on in.
Let's start with breakfast and make some egg bites. These are so simple to make. They go great in the fridge for the week. You can also freeze them and then just pop them in the microwave or the air fryer or the oven. This week I just made a dozen and then kept them in the fridge for the week and just warmed them up in the microwave for breakfast, and it was great. So it has very few ingredients. You're just going to need some cottage cheese, some cheddar cheese, some sea salt, and 9 to 12 eggs. I'm going to go ahead and put the recipes on the screen in case you want to screenshot them or just take a picture. You can do that. So I said 9 to 12 eggs. If you're using large or extra large eggs, you probably want to only use 9. But smaller eggs, 12 would be fine. So take your 1.5 cups of cottage cheese, your eggs, your sea salt, blend them up in a blender. Make sure you spray your muffin tin and then go ahead and add your egg mixture. Once that is all in, you'll just top with your cheddar cheese. About 1/2 cup is totally fine. As you can see, I kind of just measure with my heart, which, works fine too. And then once they're ready to go, just bake them for 25 minutes at 350. Now we have chicken and rice casserole. I feel like this is such a comfort food. Sometimes it sounds so good if you're feeling under the weather, if you're having a rainy or cold day. It's also an easy one to meal prep and just throw in the oven after you made it earlier that week, or even make a freezer meal. So first I am making the rice mixture, and for that I'm going to use 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup, 2 cups of water, 1.5 cups of uncooked long grain rice, salt and pepper. You can just add whatever you feel like. Really, all of these dinner options that I'm showing you, you can freeze and use them as freezer meals. Some of them I'm going to make 2 and stick 1 in the fridge and 1 in the freezer for a future meal. Just make sure if you're ever cooking a casserole or a pasta dish from frozen, you kind of need to add at least like 30 extra minutes of cook time. So I would just keep that in mind. So I also added a bag of steamed broccoli to my rice mixture. I don't always do that, but it's a nice way to get vegetables in and make it kind of a complete meal. So I just took a steamer bag of broccoli, went ahead and cooked it. I like my broccoli kind of soft, so I maybe overcooked it a little bit because I just like it that way, but you do you. And then I tossed my chicken tenderloins with some salt, pepper, paprika, and then laid those on top and topped with the shredded cheddar cheese. Now, I just saved this in my fridge for a couple of days and then cooked it, but here is what it looked like when it was all done, and it was so delicious. This chicken enchilada casserole is so good, and I have been making it for absolute years. It is so easy to make, and it's just another kind of comfort food, I feel like. So this is all going to be layers. Just take some enchilada sauce, put them on the bottom of your pan, top with your corn tortillas, some more enchilada sauce. Take a can of drained black beans and add some of those, a can of drained corn, add some of those. Then I have this shredded chicken that I had cooked earlier that day. I just make my shredded Mexican chicken with some salsa and taco seasoning. I make that all the time. I actually froze some of that chicken to use later for just various meals. And then top the chicken layer with some cheese, add some tortillas again, and then you're gonna repeat everything. As you can see, baby girl woke up and she was trying to help. Thanks, girl. I had to distract her over there. But this day I was making 1 freezer meal and then 1 meal for the fridge for the week, which sometimes if you have all the ingredients ready to go, it's just great to go ahead and make 2. So that day I did, and it is nice that I have a meal for maybe later that month. I am gluten-free, so all the meals I make are gluten-free. My whole family is not gluten-free, but if I'm ever making a family meal, I make it obviously so that I can eat it. So they end up eating pretty low gluten for sure. I've been getting better about doing big meal preps like this, and I feel like it just helps so much with the mom hustle, knowing that you have meals prepared in advance. And oh, Everly was trying to steal that. But it feels so good to not have to worry daily about what's for dinner and to know that you have a fresh home-cooked meal ready to go in the fridge or the freezer. It's just such a good feeling. So I want to get better about doing this. I find it helpful to always label the meals that I put in the fridge and the freezer, just instructions about how long to cook it, what it is, that kind of thing, because just knowing me, I will forget. Or if Kyle needs to put the meal in for me, then he knows the instructions. And this is how it turned out once it was cooked later that week. Now, turkey meatloaf. This is so good. It's gluten-free because I use oats instead of breadcrumbs. And I think it just tastes maybe even better than breadcrumbs. The oats taste really nice in there. So you're gonna take a pound of ground turkey, 2 eggs, a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of basil, some sea salt, some pepper, a tablespoon of minced garlic, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, a small can of tomato sauce, a cup of rolled oats, and mix those all up. As you can see, I'm just using my hands, which is by far the easiest, but you can use a spoon if you want. And then add it to your pan, and then I take some ketchup and just make like a little design on top. Then you just bake it at 375 for an hour, 15 minutes, and this is what it looks like cooked. So good. Oh my goodness, you guys, I seriously love lasagna. Some days I just crave lasagna. It's just one of those foods that is just so good. So this day I am making 2 lasagnas. Since lasagna needs very specific ingredients and kind of takes a while to make, I almost always make 2 lasagnas when I'm making lasagna. But the ingredients for 1 lasagna is on the screen, so if you want to make 2, just go ahead and double it. I decided to make my sauce with ground turkey. You can definitely make it with ground beef. That's totally fine. So I made my sauce, I let that simmer a little, and I moved on to my ricotta cheese mixture. And I went ahead and put all of those ingredients together, the ricotta, the mozzarella, the parmesan, the egg, sea salt, pepper, garlic, parsley. Got that all mixed. Just thinking about this, we already ate the lasagna that I had in the fridge, but I'm so excited we have one in the freezer. I might whip that out soon. So I first take some sauce, put it on the bottom of my pans, and then go ahead and add my noodles. I find it easiest to put the cheese mixture just directly on the noodles because then you can spread them out easily. So my next layer is my ricotta cheese sauce. I put that on. My noodles are gluten-free. I found no-bake gluten-free noodles. They have them at Walmart. I think that's where I got them, and they're good. So then I do a layer of sauce, add some more noodles, and I actually had to use a different brand, which it turned out just fine. Add my cheese mixture, more sauce, more noodles, more sauce, and then some cheese on top, of course. I didn't divvy out my ricotta mixture super well, and I ended up kind of low, so I decided to do a layer of cottage cheese on one of the lasagnas, and that's very good anyway, so that's just always an option. If you're low on ricotta or you want to do a layer of cottage cheese, it's really good that way too. If you are cooking this fresh, you're going to bake at 350 for 50 minutes covered, and then uncover and bake another 10 minutes. And then it's really important to let it sit 15 minutes. Otherwise, it's just really liquidy. It gets really good once you let it set. If you are cooking from frozen, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to add an extra 30 minutes of cook time to it while it's covered. It can be helpful to keep your frozen food fresh if you do a layer of saran wrap before you do your layer of tinfoil. I don't always remember to do that, but this day I did. And here's how it turned out. So yummy.
Okay, I think that was definitely a success. I have meals for the week in my fridge. I have meals in my freezer for later this month. He's very exciting. Thanks for helping me at the end there. You having a snack? Yeah, good job. If you have any ideas about ways to make my recipes better, feel free to leave them in the comments. I know they're all pretty simple, so they can be added to. Yeah. If you have any questions about any of the recipes, feel free to leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them. I'd love if you subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Maybe give my video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. It helps my channel a lot. And I will see you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. There we go. Bye-bye.